One. And we're back. I'm off camera because I'm eating. It's Martin Luther King Jr. birthday. As we said before, it's been hijacked. But we got Pablo and Africa Town Coalition, Kevin and Billion Godson down there at the parade that has been hijacked. And then they're going to be doing the People's Parade. I think it's the parade that Black people put on, or People's March. So just hold that thought.
Greetings, Earthlings.
Warning, the following program contains strong Black first opinion about mature and strong subject matter that affects Black America and the diaspora as a whole. Listen at your own risk, you sissies.
Grand Rising All. You are listening to the one and only Be One or None. Good morning from Africatown, Los Angeles.
And just like that, we are back with the Africa Town. Good morning from Africa Town crew, while Pablo is down there in Africa Town. So, Pablo, tell us about the People's March.
Uh-huh. Well, let me go on and testify. The People's March. Well, as you saw for yourselves on previous broadcasts, we just can't be left alone. We just can't have nothing to ourselves. We can't have nothing blackety black without them all up in the videos, all up in the parade. So as you saw, they've hijacked MLK's name, image, and the parade. They want to lock King into the dream. They don't want to talk about the king who said, I took my people in a burning house, I really messed up. They don't want to talk about the king who slapped hands with Malcolm X and said, let's go and get this thing together. They don't want to talk about that. Therefore, that's the reason that we have to do the People's March, because we are going to have a blackety black celebration of Martin Luther King's legacy and his work. You may disagree with the dream and the previously unwoke king, but we all know the deal, we all know the story, and we all know why he got assassinated. So that's why we celebrate his legacy at the People's March. So what we do basically is all of Black LA comes out, we get in all it's West Coast culture, of course. There's gonna be low riders, there's gonna be motorcycle clubs and stuff like that. Might even have a few Bloods and Crips showing up and things like that. Sometimes even essays show up, but we just march and we do our own parade procession, and we start at Western and MLK, which is right down the street from Carl's Jr., if you know what I'm talking about. And we march from there on into Africa Town and have a celebration inside of Africa Town with us and the whole diaspora. And so that's basically what we do. And I will say,
Hello.
last time I was in it and I led a march in it, we were followed by the Get a Bird the entire time. We had a large contingent of officers following us all the way down, but we did shut the streets down and went on and had our march anyway right in front of them. So that's basically what we're about to do right now. So hope somebody got my bail money, babies, if things don't go the way it's supposed to go.
Well, isn't it a trip? Isn't it a trip that y'all have to watch your back from the police on Martin Luther King Day?
Pretty amazing. We have to do the same thing basically on Taste of Soul. Whenever there's a Black event, it's always treated like it's the LA riot. Whenever it's a Black event, they go all out, they get all emotional and crazy with it. So anytime there's a Black event down here, this is what they do. And I'm pretty sure in every other state and every other city, I'm pretty sure where y'all are, they do the same thing when y'all have Black events. Or is it just us?
No, it's the same. But I got a question. Is it us? Is it needed? Or is it's like a two-edged sword? Because of the behavior of Black people when we get together with each other is kind of dangerous. So you need some type of authority there. But the people that are coming are known to just come and incite the riots and incite the violence.
I think ultimately why they go overboard when we do have black gatherings is it goes back. Well, actually, it goes back further than old slave trader Joe's crime bill in '94. But basically, to fit that super predator narrative that they put out in '94 with the crime bill, every time we do something has to be painted as a powder keg event. Negroes is gonna go in on each other because that's what they know. They trained us to do that. So they trained us to do this whenever we get in large gatherings with each other, and it also puts out that thug super predator narrative that they push, that we need to be treated like savages and animals, we can never act right. So it fits all into the narrative that they've painted of us around the world. And it's like I said, even when some of the immigrants come over from African countries and they come in and they're shown this propaganda, and then when they come over here, they go, oh shoot, now everybody out here is like this, and it ain't like the way they told us it is. And that's another reason why an Africa town is important, because of course we have in African countries, they're going through their version of oppression, and we're going through our version of oppression here. So of course we all have different experiences, but again, that's strategic to keep us separated at all costs. The longer they keep us separate, not talking to each other, not understanding each other, the more volatile our situation gets, and the further away from the finish line of accomplishing the Black agenda we are.
What
Very
about
true.
that's very true.
What were you
What
gonna say,
about?
Queen?
Oh, I was going to just ask. He was saying that they come over here, but they hear the stories, but what I think the world is seeing now, that we're not the ones that should be painted as the face of violence. Like,
I mean, it's kind of a catch-22, because we can't say we didn't do it. Like I'm from Compton, and when I was a kid, Compton was the murder capital of the country. So I can't say that we didn't do it, but we didn't just start doing it. Like Eazy-E once said in the interview, he was asked about the N-word, why they used it, why it's part of their name, and he was like, no, we didn't make that word up ourselves, is what we were called, and we're just flipping it and making something off of it, because we make lemonade out of lemons. So basically, like I said in the previous show, the gangs didn't start as communal terrorists the way they are today. They started to defend the Black community from the white gang, the spook hunters. They were incentivized, tricked, bamboozled, maneuvered, and coaxed into being what they are today. So we all know about the great crack epidemic drop off. We know how they neutralized the Black Panther Party. We know the propaganda that was used to get us to where we are. So basically, if you take away the gang titles and all that here in LA, what we've been going through since they did that is a Black civil war, and this civil war has been going on since the 70s.
and what makes it so bad, it's not. I don't even know if you call it a civil war. What is it called when a government attacks its own certain class of citizens? Because it's been the
No,
government.
that's called a proxy war.
I mean, it's certainly not civil what they're doing. That's for darn sure.
Yes, because we're actually sitting here watching everybody celebrate Martin Luther King when Black people are still dying, redlining is still going on. We're still telling the world that the banks are not fair to us. We got people in other countries whose countries are so bad because of the way that the American dollar is, that they're running over here and getting our benefits. And somehow we're still looked upon as the criminals of the world. And somehow we're still fighting and killing ourselves. And the only time that we can be together as Black people in one place is when we at church.
Food is good.
Very valid point.
We don't need the police at church. I mean, some incidents don't happen, but we don't need the police to gather at church. Why is it we programmed to act right at certain places?
And I was going to say with the last show, so if you are listening right now and you did not check that out about a couple hours ago, go
Check
back
it out
and listen
before
to
it
that.
come down. Check it out before it come down.
Yeah, please do. Yeah. But I was gonna say, like when we were talking about toward the end with Black people, moving more down south. I know I saw an interview and they were saying that people were not so much going to Atlanta now. We're doing like Texas and those surrounding areas, Alabama, Mississippi. But here's what we have to keep in mind. We're talking about migration anyways, and we're not immigrants. When we're talking about migration, we have to understand that all because you move from one location to another, I can't speak for anyone else here, but I don't want to move with a bunch of Black people that have this sick, ratchet mindset, but all of us are not like that. So where do we get to a place where we individually realize that Black does have value and that there are people worth linking up with, and we get this land, we build it, we build our communities, we build our families, and we can't, like D. May says, everybody ain't gonna make it. We can't continue to try to bring on people. They're not going to get that. But those that are listening, I want you to think about that. I know the United Empires of Akivalan is purchasing land, and shout out to the queens that have initiated that with this. But what would you do individually to see Black change? What is it that you want?
What
You and your
what
family.
do you say to
Go ahead.
what do you say
We actually have to
to
start
Black
cherry
people
picking
who
our
like
people who want to come with us.
because my question to the panel is, what do you say to Black people who they don't see it the way we see it? They see that what we need is to latch on to white not progress, I guess. What would I call it? They see that we should latch on to white innovation or whatever they build and lock in and get in where we fit in. And it's like, now, I mean, is that not a separation of the minds? Because it's like we're talking about doing basically what would be considered a secured Black Wall Street situation. They're basically talking about, well, whatever the white man build, let's just go get in where we fit in, so we can live off the fat of their land.
And you know what? You don't say anything to that, because if that's what you think, if you think that you're
land.
yeah, if you think you're getting in where you're fitting in, then it's like you have a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle. You see this puzzle on the box, you see the finished product on the box, and it seems really cool. I don't know about y'all, I don't like 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzles, but somebody's taking the time to do that. You know what I'm saying? And we all fit into the puzzle called life, but some of us seem to like to be okay with being misplaced in the wrong damn puzzle box. Okay, you got a puzzle box with, I don't know, lions and tigers, and then you got a clown, and these puzzle pieces in the box. It doesn't fit, and that's what we're trying to do. We're looking like clowns trying to fit where kings and queens should be seated, and it just doesn't fit. So to that, I say, if you're okay with buying Louis Vuitton and Gucci, that's cool. You got the money. There's nothing wrong with that. But do you have generational wealth? Are you building something for as far as legacy? If you don't, then you can step on with your red bottoms, and you're still going to be in a poor place when it's all said and done. Now, land my plane there.
You know what's interesting?
I'm going to say this real quick. When I first got with the UEOA, I asked my people if they want to be in a place where it's only Blacks, and they were afraid.
Oh yeah, that propaganda that I was just talking about a moment ago. Under that propaganda, one of the top things we teach is we are mentally inferior and incapable of self-governance. That's why the second you talk about doing something like that, we instantly get afraid. Oh man, we can't trust some Negroes. Oh, we ain't able to do that without massa. We instantly get afraid. And when you look at the way we operate, I think we are at a point to where it's gonna have to be a supreme separation, because it's like Harriet said, I would have freed more people if they only knew they were slaves. The whole ship would have sunk if Harriet would have based the Underground Railroad on trying to convince Negroes that didn't want to leave massa alone to leave massa alone.
And shout out to Harriet, because now we have Lynn, aka Black Love, that says, if I knew it was going to take this long, I would have shot y'all way back down when. So it depends on how you want to look.
Exactly.
I mean, my point to that is we're wasting time. When we say, Queen, when you said, some Black
They
people
got us wasting
are afraid
time
to live with other Black people, but we're not afraid to live in a world that's not made for Black people. Doesn't that sound weird to y'all? You're afraid to live with Black people, but you're not afraid to live in a world that's not for Black people. Okay.
Like you were just saying, do you have wealth? And it's like I just spoke to a group of teenagers about 3 days ago, and I showed them the wealth income gap between black and white families, and I said there is literally no way, no amount of jobs you can get if you have 4 jobs, you can make that gap up. You cannot bridge that gap, and then you got a system rigged against you to where you're never ever going to catch up. And they've had like a 400 or 500 year head start, so you're not going to ever get any job, any amount of white status or clout to bridge that gap. And that's why they go hard when Malcolm X said you don't see celebrities being made leaders in any other community. That's why they did that, because they want us to fixate on the Jay-Z or on the Beyonce, the 1 in a million who made it big under the white parameters, and live vicariously through them. And now that we have a generation of people like us that are saying, no, we don't want to live vicariously through them. We want our land. We want our own property. We want to have generational wealth. That's why they get all in their he motions and she motions and want to shut us down instantly. That's why every time we say something online, they instantly want to take it down.
And this, like we don't, when you say live vicariously through, other black people who made it, that's our problem. We always living through hope or celebrating, but they got us living in an imaginary world where we're working and living to buy, like I said, name brand labels, to do all this stuff just to say we have a life in this white society. And it's really going to take us to separate. And when we say separate, like you say, getting our own land, living on your own land, you never see poor white people. When they show you a poor white person, they show you a poor white person in a trailer. That trailer is sitting on a plot of land. I don't care if it's a trailer park. Section 8 and all this stuff that they laugh at when they say your rent is $3 and this and that. Section 8 will pay for your mortgage. White people found that out a long time ago. That's why they're not piled in an apartment complex. You don't see them piled in apartment complexes that look like boxes stacked on top of each other called the projects. You rarely see a white person living in the projects. And then you see, you don't see them piled somewhere and being harassed by the police. You don't see the police riding through trailer parks, asking white people to search them, stop and frisking them. We got to open our eyes to where we're putting ourselves at. In order to wear them Louis Vuittons and anybody be concerned, you got to be in the inner city or go in places where other people are going to see you. That means you got to spend money in different places. You be sitting in the projects and stuff and around people so that other people can see them designer labels. If there was nobody to see the designer labels, would we waste so much time and money trying to buy designer labels, or would we already have been out of this thing called slavery? And I land my plane.
I do think with that point being raised that we should touch on the black mindset here, because the mindset is a WMD for what we're talking about here. So what I mean by that is
separation is key.
All of the ethnic groups, when they come into a major city, they come in to leverage that city to fortify their own underground economy. They don't come in to crab in the barrel, try to outshine each other like we do. So we gotta, this mindset that we have is like, what can you do with it? Because it makes no sense that somebody can come over from Pakistan or whatever the country may be, and within a 5 to 10 year span, they've taken that community over, got their own bank, got their own businesses, got their own malls, and we'll sit in the community for generations and still be living in the projects.
Because we're not taught to go after anything but designer stuff or the struggle. When they come in here, just think about it. Everybody plays their part. When those Indians or Arabs come over here, they're right at the gas station. Prove me wrong. Go out your door and walk down to your local gas station. If it ain't owned by white people, it's owned by one of these Indians. They go there. When they need money to come to America, these people will travel across seas to come here to make the money that we won't even band together to do. And we'll band together to give every one of these motherfuckers our money, but we won't band together to help each other or to build a gas station. Then we come over here to, we say it automatically. They don't care if we racist when we say this, Chinese food. You can say Chinese food all day. They okay. We could say Mexican food. They don't never say I'm not Mexican. I'm this. I'm that. They don't. It don't separate until it comes down to when we showing how they don't. Nobody supports black. It's no problem saying Mexican. They don't never separate themselves.
I agree.
But everybody comes to get money in a certain area. The other Indians or Arabs, they get the hotels. Prove me wrong. Go to a motel, sis. Go to your local hood. Go to the hood and just go out a little bit in the hood, because that's where them hotels at, and you're gonna see who own them. The Africans, they kind of guilty, because when we were getting our hair done, they didn't come over here showing us how to do our hair, which my family knew. We were going to the African shops getting it braided. They were braiding the shit out of our hair. Our scalps wasn't used to that. Remember, everybody hair was coming out around the edges.
Right. I can't. Yeah. And I think that's why I wish Pablo was on there.
Everybody coming to get the piece of the pie, but the only way that they know who is spending the money. The Indians ain't going to the Indian hotel, staying at their hotel spending money. The Indians ain't coming to the wig shop spending the money. All these places are set up, and the only place that the black men set themselves up to make money is the dope boys, the D boys.
That's unfortunately true.
Then when they come and they do their business as a dope boy, they get prison, mass incarceration, separation of family. They done bought houses and land, but the government confiscates it. They all people. Every one of these
Johnson and Johnson and them do it, and that's okay though.
Yeah, the
Chinese
Johnson
man,
and
Johnson
the
do it with their
Asian
narcotics. That's cool.
The Hispanic man, everybody looking out for their race, but the only race of men that are going to prison and not getting anything out of it is the black man still, and nobody sees that. But in the black man, when the fuck is they gonna see it? It don't take. We keep living in the past. We keep talking about shit that happened when my grandmother. I don't even know my great my triple grandmama. None of us do, but we keep talking about what these folks did in the past, and we wasn't there. We keep looking that way, praying down at our knees, and there our eyes is never open to right now. In quantum physics, you are in two states at once. The whole point of prayer is that you saying, I speak those things that be not as though they were, because it's not here now, but I'm putting myself in a state when I open my eyes, I'm there. We don't do that. The only time we program to go to get our money is from the streets or the church. It's either a pastor. That's the only legit number one job. Everybody in the hood got, everybody black, a pastor. And that person could be the worst person, but because he a pastor, we praise them. Then it's the pastors and the entertainers running us around in a circle, and we ain't getting no damn well. And we keep panels, and we keep arguing, we keep marching, we keep thinking of groups to make. I'm sick and fucking tired.
Yep. We are sick and tired of being sick and tired. We gotta make a change.
And I think part of what we need to do is make things practical for people. I mean, I think we have practical conversations for our listeners. So yeah, please like, share, and subscribe. But I'm like Pablo was saying, talking to the young men about the generational, the wealth gap, the racial wealth gap. I think for a lot of people, when they hear disparities, it's like, well, excuse my language, well, we're up shit creek anyway, so we'll just might as well keep going. We'll stay in the boat. There's no paddle, but we'll stay in the boat because at least we're not peddling through shit. You know what I'm saying? That's how we think. Versus thinking to yourself, if you get your ass out this boat, you're all around shit. You're gonna die out here.
Yeah.
You better muddle through and see what's on the other side.
We the white people who thought the world was flat. That's where black people at right now. We scared to make a move. We scared to fight back. They have literally starved the fight out of us. We starving anyway, but black folks, we say, hey, it could be worse, so don't rock the boat. We are falling that shit, even though we smelling it and living on top of it. It's not. We got our lily white clean clothes on in a boat that's surrounded by shit.
Yeah, and it's so it stinks and looks dirty. Like you just cool. You just sitting there, just used to it. It's a fragrance sound to you.
They,
the shit that you go through is a fragrance. You know,
they
it's
got,
crazy.
yeah, they got us so blinded that we think we're living. We think we're supposed to get up and go to work, and then when they do it, I see it all the time on Facebook. A person, we know it. We know we're not doing something because there's something in us that's crying out. Every black person, there's something inside. And then when we know we ain't listen to that voice because we don't know what we should do, that's the problem. We're not organized. We think building groups or joining a group or joining a church or something, we think we're doing something, but a voice in us is we're not doing what we should do, and that's stick together. And then then when we do it, we on Facebook to I deserve this, and then we wait for everybody else. Like, yeah, girl, you deserved it. Yeah, girl, you deserved that vacation. I bought this purse for me because I deserved it. Yeah, girl, you deserved it. You deserve that those thousands of dollars vacation, even though you ain't did nothing for your community. Because when you what we don't understand is when you do something for the black community, there's something left for your children. We have settled with the fact that if our children just don't do right in the system, then oh well, you go to prison or starve or just be okay being poor. That's our options.
And then you leave your children to those options, and then you don't even have money, for commissary. You're part of the reason your children. Some of us are part of the reason our children are where they are. At some point we make decisions as adults, but some of us do not give our children a fighting chance, and we're still making excuses. And not only are we making excuses now and not being accountable, you can't change the past, but you're steadily pointing fingers elsewhere, and there's no accountability. And this is a cycle that we remain in.
What pisses me off, the only thing I hear black people fighting for, I'm not going to discipline my child like my mama disciplined me. I'm not going to, and I'm sorry, but it was this and that. That ain't got shit to do with what it is. You need to start fighting the oppressor back like our parents did not do. Because it's a gap, and the gap comes in between our parents, my mother, them side, when they started giving us everything they couldn't have because life got a little easier. And then they stopped fighting.
Might I pose a question along those lines? So, being the fact, because I'm about to be in front of a Hebrew Israelite situation, so it's gonna be loud. Being the case, this black children have decided to start dropping out of high school. We're talking about a 75%.
Because every black child know that it's something inside them that they know is bullshit. I'm just trying to say that. Go ahead.
You think so? You guys think, because I think this. Do you think this 75% dropout rate is because they know for sure the same things that kids in the 90s thought? I'm here to be programmed to be a white person in black skin, and when I look at that wealth income gap, I'm never going to be that. So what's the point of this? Exactly. I'm not learning who I am.
But I'm not learning about my culture. We're programmed to be white people in black skin, and we programmed to
yes, in that school system, we were programmed to be black people.
Like that. When it's not said like that, we don't look at it like that. You see what I'm saying? When it's not said like, but looking at it now, it's like, damn, that's what they did. That's what they're doing. But when you're in it, especially with our generations before, if you don't understand that, that's why they are the masters of deception. Oh, they've done this quite well. They've done this quite well.
It's the reason why we're here today. Had it not been for Martin Luther King, and I'm just sorry, this is the damn truth, nothing but the truth. Had Martin Luther King not come in and interrupted the fight, we would probably still be fighting. If it wasn't for Martin Luther King making a mistake, which he did, he led us more to church, and the church was willing to fight back then.
To his credit, he did say, I made a big mistake and led my people into a burning house. He knew he messed up.
They won't repeat that. They won't say why. Nobody, even if you don't give reparations, why did they not even say anything about killing this man? What was the point of killing him and Malcolm X? Let's talk about the reasons the white people did the things that they do. And why won't they say, why the only time we only address the fucking dream? What about I'm integrated my people in a burning damn house? When we gonna start that conversation?
Not soon enough. Not soon. If you look at it, it still continued to go on. Look at the movie The Burial. If you all have not seen that, check that out. But same thing, same concept, where you're sliding in, you're snaking in, and you're using so-called black leaders to manipulate the black community. So it's never stopped. That's what I'm saying. We have to. I don't understand we as this panel, but like as a black community, we have to have a different discussion about an exit strategy, a building strategy, a warrior strategy. We have to have these conversations and stop being so docile. Like, who has tomorrow? If anybody has tomorrow, guarantee 100%. Put them one in the chat. If you got tomorrow. Like, what are we doing right now? So like we need to understand that as time goes on, it's getting worse. It doesn't look like it, but it is. And at this point, it's really on us. We have all this information. For all of you that are listening right now, please hopefully be educated and empowered, and like and share, because we keep having these conversations on social media that we're arguing, saying dumb stuff, saying insubstantial stuff, and this is what people do all day long. But you haven't learned anything, you haven't poured back into the community, you haven't done anything worthwhile.
I'm tired of even telling us to pour back in the communities. We got to stop participating, like I said in the last live. The only way that anything is going to really change and stop at an abrupt time where we're all living and breathing to see something. Martin Luther King died, and we still don't have freedom. We had more freedom back then than now. We wasn't in mass incarceration back then. Back then, during his time, we were still 2-family households. We were rich because we had each other back then. I'm tired.
Also back then, we were rich in numbers because we wasn't practicing abortion. We wasn't practicing homosexuality. None of these
didn't have a chance to get at our children because the man was in the household. You ain't have a chance to weaken the woman's mind because the man was in the household.
That part right there. Say it again one more time, Queen. One more time.
You didn't have a chance to get out our little boys and tell them to put on dresses because they had to look up to a daddy that was in the room right there. You didn't have our little girls twerking because they daddy gonna beat their ass and their mama gonna back them up. Let's talk about when they killed Martin Luther King, when they killed everything, they killed the dream for us and made a damn nightmare for us while they're living in the dream. And it's time for this dream to end. I'm glad that the immigrants and everybody happy-go-lucky, but this is a nightmare for Black people.
And what's interesting is we spoke up on the little kids on the pole situation a couple of episodes ago. Now, dang well, back in the era that we're talking about, that would have never, ever on God's green earth been allowed, would it?
You would have got beaten from your grandmother, your mother, and anybody else in the neighborhood.
Exactly. Soon as one of these little boys would have bucked, back then he would have been broke down. One of these little girls would have did it. I remember the time you wouldn't even sit on a man's lap, let alone shake your behind in front of him.
Oh yeah. And can you imagine back then?
Or put on something stupid and walk out the door.
Yeah. Can you imagine back then what the church mamas would have did to a Negro talking about he don't know if he a boy or a girl?
They would have slapped. They would have dealt with them because I don't see my grandmama deal with some because I had some of my family. They be like, okay, what you like? Okay. But until then, you a man in this house. I don't care what you like. Because between the man and the woman, ain't now one of the children supposed to be having sex. So if you think
but like you said, Queen, there were men in the house.
When you're grown, if you think you're a boy and you a girl, you're going to explore that when you get grown. If you're a girl and you like a boy, you still going to explore that when you get grown. The whole point is wait till you fucking grown.
Exactly.
Like you said, Queen, like there you didn't see because we had 2-parent households, because we had strong Black men in the house.
2 opinions in the house.
It wasn't even a thought process. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like it was a secret thing and I'm sitting here secret in the closet. It wasn't even a thought process because there was that example. So who be thinking about putting their mom's makeup and their clothes and carrying them? Like even in secret,
even when they were,
that wasn't the mentality.
Even the LGBTQ back then, you had some that if you went and stepped out, then I believe it was really you. But when you was a man, you still was a man. If you was a man and like a man, you still dressed as a man. It wasn't none of that silly stuff where your body don't fit that dress, but you putting it on. You stuffing you stuffing a bra. Y'all look stupid because it's not made for your body. I don't care what you feel like you are on the inside. On the outside, you look like a goddamn fool.
And case in point. Case in point, now that I forgot his name.
Girls walking around gripping their cootie cats. Somebody, what you got down there? What you gripping?
You would have never seen James Baldwin, not, let alone acting like that. You would have never seen James Baldwin putting out agenda before his people.
Exactly.
Never.
Because he had a brain in his head, and he was black first.
Whatever you like in your bedroom, that's your business. I just need to know: can you build with me? With like, because you can't hammer this because you like boys, or you cannot vacuum the floor because you like girl. We have let this mad, sick Caucasian society f up our real reason why we on Earth, and then we keep fighting. We are sit up here watching these people celebrate a damn man that they murdered.
Yep, assassinated right in front of our eyes.
We would have never seen and finished the job at the hospital.
He died covered in white spit and in the hospital with a pillow over his face.
And then everybody want to confess. All we got to do is get around old dying white people, and all the truth gonna come out because they always get on their bed to confess, and somehow Jesus don't never interrupt their lovely life.
And because Jesus, and their Jesus is a white man named Caesar Borgia who was of the rainbow.
As long as you keep following Caesar Borgia rules, him and his people, that's why they blessed and we not.
Yep.
Jesus is not Caesar.
Because you living by the system that Caesar Borgia put forward, and you can prosper under it.
Not the spirit that tell you to go over there and walk master upside his head, since y'all like color purple so much.
You know one thing.
Do you think that they had the slave Bible in color purple? You think they read the slave Bible in color purple? Yeah, you think?
I don't know. The slave Bible, I don't even know what the difference. All of it is made. They keep telling me it was a slave Bible. Just that's what I don't even care.
So they took out the stuff, and like they left in the scriptures where it talks about like, you know, how your master can beat you and how you're supposed to act like a slave, and the master and slave scriptures are what was left in the slave Bible, basically.
You know what? Like, even with that topic, on back in the day, if you want a glimpse into that and how that worked, all you would have to do is some truth was told in that Shaka Zulu miniseries used to be on TV. You remember when the white people came into his village and they did all kind of white European trickery on him to get him to believe certain things, like they got him to believe that he was younger because they put shoe polish on his hair. So what they do is this is the same reason the noses are missing on all the statues in Egypt. They hijack our history, brutalize us, destroy us, burn it down, and then reclaim it for themselves. They've done the same thing.
Participating?
Like they say, they've done the same thing with rock and roll. If Little Richard didn't live as long as he did, you would have never thought that we made rock and roll.
The problem is that we keep participating.
Yeah,
like all that money. Let's talk about Africa Town being a hub. All that money goes right back into the hands of the people. We cannot keep fighting a system that we're feeding. Now, if everybody in Africa Town, let's say, and everybody on this live and everybody that joined the UEOA, put together money to get a plot of land and then say, hey, we're going to manufacture homes or RVs. But we got to start breaking the system with doing something. We could cheer people on to support Black businesses. We could keep doing this, but we are part of the problem our damn selves if we don't take that money and start doing something else. Right now,
that's why I said it's that mindset.
Yes,
it's that mindset, and that's why we see now.
You don't have to stay in the inner cities. It's like if you look at the cities and the maps up from a bird's eye view, you're staying in a little spot, and the only reason you like that spot is because you know where to go. And you know that spot, you know the stores, you know where everybody hang at. It's comfortable. But if you look outside that spot, there's an empty plot of land that has not been built free by Black labor. We're gonna have to put a little work. We ain't got no stores, we ain't got no restaurants. It'll just be us. We'll have to protect each other from wild animals or whatever is out there, or we have to read books. I mean, Wi-Fi stretches now, so now you can use Wi-Fi. But the whole thing is, when are we gonna start separating?
You see, and that's the question of the hour right there, because they know that enough of us know and now have the ability to pull our resources together to do that, and that's why they're targeting the children. Like I was gonna say earlier, back in that era, in the King era, the Civil Rights era, would you have ever imagined a Black child telling their parents You can't scream at me. You can't punish me. You can't hit me. I'll call the police on you. I'll take you to court. But will we have ever allowed this type of invasion into our very homes by the oppressor back then?
I mean, we know, no. Everybody know that.
And that's where the
Heck
war is
no.
at right now. It's like, see, they know young adults like us have the ability. We're talking about it, we're online, so they're like, you know what? Let's suppress them online so that ideology doesn't get out there. Same thing they did with the Black Panther Party. Keep having Negro, there's no one right here. But that's the same thing they did with the Black Panther Party. So now they're targeting children because they do not, by any means necessary, want black children as young as kindergarten age thinking and talking about what we're talking about right now.
And again, it's a matter of changing our mindset. Queen, can you put up the message from Annie Taylor about the taxes? I want to show you all something. Here's the thing. So she says someone said we should stop paying personal taxes to see how this government will react. So first of all, if you look in the Constitution, it was supposed to be government elected officials that were required to pay
taxes,
income taxes. So you explain to me now. Follow me, you all. Explain to me then why is it that we are paying taxes and they're not, and they're getting rich off of us doing so, and there's no explanation behind it. So if we're so upset about it, then we need to all come together and petition these things. We need to know what's going on in our
you want to know the problem when it
know?
comes down to something like
Go
that?
ahead,
Black
Queen.
people don't have money to pay taxes any damn way. Most Black people are waiting for income tax to come. So that takes half. It's really no need for Black people to say not pay taxes. What taxes are we paying? When we go to the store, they're automatically taking taxes. So when you say that, it takes really, when we go to a national thing, it takes working together with white people and brown people and other people. Where we're at is that we want to separate, but we don't know how to separate and still be part of other groups. Like other groups have their separation and still be part of us. So even if we stop paying taxes, name what Black person sends in tax money. I'm not saying we don't, but what Black people paying taxes? They waiting on us to get our income tax.
Ways to do it. Like again, we had the argument about Donald Trump, but in mainstream media about his tax records. But he'll tell you that he found loopholes. He did his research or paid someone to do the research and found loopholes where he can legally do those things. So when we talk about getting our own land, having real estate, having assets, these are the way you do these things. You know what I'm saying? We can complain about it, but if you don't have any assets, if you're not building generational wealth where you're not a business for the United States, you're a business for yourself, then you do write those things off. You can buy those nice cars and write it off like rich white people do and everybody else. You know what I'm saying? You can dissolve your debt as far as electricity bills and all these different things. There are ways to do these things. We just have to take the time to research. That's why I say it's really
what I
hard
said.
for a lot
That's
of us
if you
to
want
stay.
to keep participating in this system. It's all exhausting what you said. If you don't want no sports car and you just want a good car to get back and forth, we have to go to the basics as Black people. Are we going to keep living on these inner cities and keep participating and doing like you said, Angie, which is true, trying to find things to write off, which we do got to do know that. But I vision of people on the land with RVs, maybe tiny homes, or building our own structures, and we stay on the land majority of the time. Come to the inner cities to work. Don't pay no bills on the inner cities. Only buy what's needed, grow most of our stuff, and go back to our land and start doing what other countries are doing to us and what other people are doing to us in our neighborhoods. It's coming into our neighborhoods to set up businesses so that when it's time to go to the store, we're going to run to the store down the block because it's convenient. When it's time to eat, we're going to do something for the family. We're going to go to this restaurant down the block and spend our money. We are trapped in a prison when we keep staying in these inner cities. It's time for us to move out the inner cities, drive 1 to 2 hours or more to work, because it happens in the city all the time. When I lived in Birmingham, Alabama, summertime, I had to drive an hour and a half to 2 to get to work because of traffic. So why not drive an hour or 2 outside where my land is if I have to go to the inner city and work? And now we got at-home jobs. Start funneling that money from the light bill, from the gas bill, from the high-ass realtors and rent who you renting from, and start taking that money back in your pockets. Stop buying all this stuff at the grocery store. That's the only way I see us making any moves. Other than that, ain't nothing else gonna change until we make a change. Pull ourselves out these inner cities and start pulling the inner city money out like everybody else is.
What if you guys were to summarize that? Because I know after these two broadcasts, a lot of the young entrepreneurs in Africatown are going to be listening. Because what would you say to the 16, 17-year-old? They've saw the writing on the wall. They've dropped out of high school. They're in pursuit of being an entrepreneur. They're being a vendor right now. What roadmap, like, what rough draft would you give them to follow to get to that?
I would tell them to do like we do now. Just like if we trained to go get a job and pay a car note. Why you can't be trained to go get a job and pay on your plot of land? And make sure you don't sell that land. Put that land in an LLC if we need to. What we got to do is start making them have the conscience to buy land first before you get your nails done, getting your hair done to look good in front of each other, getting Jordans, buying the latest perfumes. We got to drop spending habits. It should be the first habit should be buying a plot of land. How can the kids listen when we ain't even buying it? I mean, we got some now, but we it's hard for us to see it. We ain't doing it.
We use as hard at it. And I would say to you, so to the younger people who are listening now, and
all I want is Black people to do this one thing. I've been seeing people do it, and I told my daughter, for Christmas, if you're going to participate with Christmas, be smart. Buy a plot of land for all your children. You could go stand on that land. When the police chasing you, or if you don't want the police, if you want to just be by yourself, like you say, off to myself because I'm an introvert, you could go sit on your damn land on your own ass and can't nobody come when you put up trespassing signs. Start a habit of buying land and stop. I don't care if you ain't got a car. If you making your payment on your land every day, you will never be homeless.
And I would put it like this. So to the younger people who are listening and will listen to this, think of it like this.
And someone said, hold on, let me say this. Someone said there where is no zone. Exactly. Check your zones, but also know if enough Black people move somewhere, zones are not laws. They can be changed. There's paperwork because me and Kathy are in the midst of doing that on some land we bought, changing the zones on it.
Yes, yep.
Because some zones will allow business and residential, some allow agriculture, some allow RVs and stuff. So yes, check the zone, but please start doing something with land. That's the only thing I can tell Black people, because you ain't got nothing else.
I would tell the young people to get together with other young people.
You are like
they do that all the time. They twerking and dancing and shooting each other.
No, get together with other young people who have the same mindset as them, as to separate.
Link up. Link up. And to piggyback off what you're saying is, to you who are the 17, 16, 18-year-old, you dropped out of high school or you considering starting college, know this. This plot of land that we're talking about, for less than what you would be paying for a car note, if you count in the insurance and the gas you got to keep in the car, yes, you can get a plot of land and make a monthly payment on it. You could pay like $250 to $300 a month, sometimes $500, which is the same price you're paying for that car you drive around. So, hey, you can go get a used car off a lot, or go get a used car from a family friend. Maybe they might even give it to you as a gift, and then put your money into a plot of land.
Yep.
I would say definitely, like with that situation, definitely do your education. Like make sure outside of school that you're reading, that you're researching, that you're looking into like these conversations. Have conversations with people that can guide you in the right direction, so you're not wasting time wondering what direction to go into.
And I don't believe in no kid going to college unless you're going to be a nurse or a doctor or electrician I say take a trade, because me, my family, my kids, we all went down the college road, and all I ended up with is being a black person discriminated against, still looking for certain jobs. Unless you were in the nursing field, you're to get one. So don't waste $80,000 that could be a plot of land.
And and also when you're talking to the younger crowd, know this: you spend a majority of your time on social media, so you can't use the excuse of I don't know nobody with the same. Yes, you do. All you gotta do is get online, and eventually you will connect with other people with the same mindset. Bam, you got your investment group right there.
Yep, and you don't even have to do a lot of that. You save your credit. You go down. You could put a plot of land in a manufactured home. A manufactured home and a mobile home are two different things. Don't let people fool you. A manufactured home, you brick it down like when they say bricking a trailer down and make it a foundation. You can still get that refinanced. So when you got a plot of land, there's a lot of things you could do with it. You never know if that plot of land is going to be somebody going to need something, or you could use it as a lot, RV lot. Just get land and then do research. You can grow. We've been growing our own collard greens in a grow box on a plot of land that was close to me, because I'm in Florida right now, but I can go out in my own yard and pick up something, and I don't have to go in the store and come up with $4 to get a bell pepper, because bell peppers, now, are about $4 in the store. I don't have to.
See, and these are small things. These are small steps to the younger audience. These are small steps. I got a loud person coming up on music. These are small steps you can take, even if you currently live in an apartment complex.
Yes.
You can turn your balcony into a garden. You can do all these things we're talking about. You can do right in an apartment and get your foothold.
It don't have to be a lot. You could grow one or two things that that you're gonna go to the store. I kept saying every time I get ready to cook, I need a bell pepper, a green onion, and collard greens. Those are three things I grow. I'm not this big farmer yet, but those are what I grow. And then I'm studying. So get you some land. You could just throw seeds out there and let it grow. You might be thinking, hey, I forgot last year I threw some collard greens out there. Let me go check. You know that land is more valuable than your Nikes, right? Because when it's time to sell, you can sell your Nikes, but when it's time to build a house, you can't build a house inside your shoe sole.
And the ultimate thing to remember, not to keep on targeting the younger folk, but one of the things to remember is
older, because we're the generation that was lost up telling our people to go on and get your hair done every 2 weeks and buy the Nikes.
Yep. And know this: you're not alone in the world. Even though you in America, know this, that, and this is coming from somebody who does international activism. There is a 17, 18, 19, 20-year-old in the UK who's thinking the same way you are. There's one in France thinking the same way you are, in African countries thinking the same you are. And you have the internet at your fingertips. All you gotta do is connect these mindsets.
Yep. Just like we all connected. All of us on this live is from a different state. We all connected because of our mindset. And just like it's us, there's a million and one of us out there that believes in the same thing. We all don't agree on every single thing, and that is human. That's what God gave us. But we all, like me and Kathy and a few of us, we went in and got a plot of land, and then we divided it. That's what we have. So she could be mad with me. She and her land on the corner over here, and I'm over here. But we bought this land together. It's ours.
And here's a sneak peek into what we're talking about here. So you would never think on some of the stuff that was just said 5 to 8 minutes ago.
Wait a minute, you in the Matrix, Pablo, almost. It's like when? It might be Black Love. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, better. So you would never think on this broadcast that, based on what was just said about the Bible and the church just a few minutes ago, that I'm actually a minister, and you don't hear me falling all to the side. Oh God, I can't do nothing with you because you don't think the same way I think. I know if I'm honest, if I'm an honest minister, I know that God did not mean for His people to live in the conditions that Black people live.
Thank you.
The same way He didn't for us when we lived in Egypt, when we were dominated by another Black group. He doesn't mean for His people to live like this.
And I'm not even a Christian. He is, and y'all wouldn't even thought. See how we all learned that. See, we got the mindset that we're gonna get along. That all our beliefs, what we believe, and who we are is not going to override who we are. We are
Exactly.
Black people for Black people. I'm not a Christian, and I know that God did not intend for us to wake up every day to pay a man-made bill that they came up with when he gave us sunlight and solar panels, but we just haven't not been allowed. We have stopped our intuition. We have stopped building what God gave us, and we have been building for slave masters. We have been building for their pleasure instead of building for the world. At one point in life, that's why they keep going to the pyramids. We had something stopped. We stopped building great things, and we've been building for the devil, the spirit of illusion, to make it look like the world is going around and this is just how the world gonna be. And then when you go to church and you die, and this is the spirit of illusion that we're living in. This is not what God intended. The earth was going around, and up into the pyramids, the most advanced things they had, the world was going around. You see the writings on the wall, people living together. You've seen everything together. People were farming together. That was not one separate thing. I don't care. Every tomb they built, every king that you see, it still showed many, many people together. Every courtyard they dig up, it's for everybody to come in. There was no closed doors with locks. We have been forced to work and build and invent things for our open enemy, inventing weapons of mass destruction, the internet, destroying the kid's mind, the music. You can see God didn't intend us to give us the mind to build musical instruments so that the white devils can come in and teach us to tell ourselves to kill and do everything with them same instruments that God gave us the intuition to build. God gave us the intuition. He gave us food, and somehow people are starving and dying, and y'all Christians and everybody that's in religion is walking around thinking that they're going to go somewhere else and go to heaven. Y'all are fucking not. Because you won't do nothing on earth as it is in heaven. We watching a baby froze the fucking death the other day on the streets because a child was cold. And we up here housing grown-ass men from Turkey and Venezuela and China, all in the name of politics. This world can burn to hell because we won't do nothing. We keep playing. Nobody is supposed to die of hunger. That's why God made trees, but we got man-made people making us create machines that will cut down every tree for their pleasure, and then they display it in front of us in the form of food and furniture, and then say you can't have it because you don't have this same money that was made from trees. Are we not living in a devil, the spirit of illusion world? We keep talking about it's the end of the world. No, it's the end of this illusion. This type of world, it is, because life is going to thrive. I want every president in their place to push their goddamn red button and blow this bitch up so that we can go ahead and restart.
I'm with you on that.
I knew you was going to chime in. Queen Lynn.
I'm tired. It needs to be over with already.
The quicker it's over, the quicker you can restart. My only regret in a bad relationship is that I never left sooner. Anybody been in a bad relationship and that's the only thing you wish you would have left sooner because you could have had a quicker life, a better life?
Exactly. Yes.
We are in a bad fucking relationship. It's time to end this bitch by any means necessary. You think we dying slowly, but we all scared to die together.
No, we dying quickly.
No, we dying slowly as a race. They picking us off one by one. If they could just nuke us all at one time, but they need to keep us going because they need our intuition. They need our blood a little bit so that we can get the thoughts to make that machine, to make that blood.
Exactly.
To invent the things that they want to capitalize off of.
I'm going to interject real quick to show you how they don't know anything. Just look at their commercials. They're crappy. They make no sense and they just piss me off. They have no brain cells to do anything. So that is why they need us.
They have to leech to us.
Yep. It's ridiculous.
Like what is the worst thing in our body? White blood cells, are they not? When they look for cancer, what it is? It's an overgrowth of white cells. Everything white is not good for us. It's like those cells done came out and took form in human form, and everything bad about us, they are living in their form, and they looking us in our eyes, and they got our blood mixed with them, and now they find out, wait a minute, we can't just go pure white, we got to have some of that stuff called melanin. So now it's okay to sleep with the black man and the black woman, and now we can look at our golden children who got the mind of a maniac and the heart of a god.
I really don't know why a lot of people did not pay attention to they clone Tyrone. I don't understand that.
Because we are not taught to pay attention when you don't think anything is wrong.
Woo, boy, oh boy.
When you kill off the adults, the kids didn't never want to break out of slavery because they didn't know what's the difference. If you're born into captivity all your life, that's all you know. How you going to imagine a place when you ain't never been to a place called heaven? They got us to die to go to heaven, and we are being tricked because this is heaven. The only place you're going to have streets to go, because after you leave this body, there's no need to walk. So you're not going to walk on streets of gold in no heaven because you don't have no feet. The only place you got feet is when you're in this body. The only place that gold is here.
And let me also talk about what we talked about the last time. Africans are waking up. Africans are waking up.
Yeah, they stripped the Jews. They got the black people digging for the diamonds, and then you got these white bitches called the Queen of England wearing hair crowns and walking around, and we cheering, and we know that every one of them stones and that crown is stolen from Africa.
Exactly.
We know that these white people land never produce anything. We ain't got no white tribe that we could talk about. We ain't got nothing from them but destruction, but we praising them. We on the platform right now can't say what we want to say. Why? Because somehow they tricked us to give us them. A black man invented the damn internet. A black man. But somehow they control it. A black man invented the car, they control it. A black man invented the house, they control it. A black woman invented GPS. All we hear is a white woman voice when it's time to ask Siri where the fuck we going. And we celebrating Martin Luther King after these white people done killed them. They shot him and then smothered him. And that's what you believe that God of the Bible is allowing? Because some great day we gonna all walk around in kumbaya and happy, and I'm gonna sit next to the person who shot Trayvon Martin in heaven, and we gonna be just okay? Because you know George Zimmerman is still alive and he got a chance to go see Jesus. Remember? Because Jesus is a forgiver. So we all, I mean, look at the stupid shit they got us believing in. And then we got black people who won't even sit down and talk with other black people because you mad because we not Christians, or we don't believe that dumbass shit that we walking around carrying a book. And then what reality is, the people who in the book is the people who doing all the stuff the book say not to do is being blessed, eating lobster every day, taking cruises, running around, going to hold little black kids in another country, talking about feed the damn children. White people holding little black kids with snotty nose flies on their lips because they hungry, and then they bringing them a damn Bible. What kind of madness are we living in? God is mad because he mad because we won't do nothing. Because we scared, just like the talent. God gave everybody 2 hands to kill each other. And we won't use ours. We keep sitting up here talking about nonviolence. God gave us all hands and brains. Every race going for the cup except for us. We up here. Well, he walked over me, but God forgive me. Because when we go, if he stomped my head, Lord knows I'm going to be in heaven and I'm going to see the King. Praise Jesus. Do we not see how stupid we are every day when we wake up with all these different groups, all these different t-shirts? Just madness. Curly girl say I don't celebrate. It ain't even about celebrating holidays. We are supposed to celebrate. Our people made instruments so that we can celebrate. Our people made the way to sing and words. Some of us have voices and some of us don't. Some of us could dance. Some of us can't. Some of us, we all came down here with talents, but we all using our talents to fatten the bellies of the damn people who should be in hell. And we keep talking about we judging each other. something is wrong if we can look at statistics and say this is not, black people ain't benefiting, but yet we keep running around begging and talking about reparations, and these people come in here and we watching these grown-ass men from these other countries and these other grown-ass people here in America allowing this shit. We keep saying they killing us. We got a whole wall full of names that white cops done killed. Ain't no black cops killing white people. We got walls and walls of names of black people who've been died by the so-called law. Yet we ain't got nothing. Show me the wall with white names on it. And we see them kill us, kill Martin Luther King, kill Mal. How long we gonna keep sitting back waiting for Jesus to come fix it until we take our two hands like they gave us, start building our own shits? If our kids killing each other in the street, why not kill the open enemy back? They rather see our kids go get guns and shoot each other than to shoot the cop back who killed his brother. Keep talking about Jesus gonna fix it. We up here celebrating Martin Luther King. We watching these people fucking march in damn parades when the whole damn government killed this man. And the kids sitting back doing nothing. Where's Martin Luther King kids? They obviously not mad because we don't hear from them. Where's Malcolm X kids? Where's the grandkids? Why is it always black people? We got to stop worshiping everybody and understand we in 2024, and the rest of us that's black, we got to get it how we live. We either need to separate and take down anybody that come our way. And the rest of the white people that don't want this world, then to stop participating too. The only way to stop participating is to move on out these damn cities. Stop trying to get a lot of us won't, because we glad that if you move your child out, then that make room that the white man can see my child on the sports field. We still want a piece of the white pie. Until we stop craving for that damn spoiled ass American pie, we ain't gonna go no fucking where as black people. And I land my plane.
Well, she said it. She said it. You all make sure you like and share. Make sure you go to the United Empires of Akibalan.com and support this conversation, because again, it is important. And the aggression, the hostility is real. It's like Queen said, it's tiring. It's tiring talking about, it's tiring. All of it's just tiring, and where do we go from here? We have to, again, be boots on the ground. And like Willie D says, no more talk, right? I'll land my plane there.
And I guess we didn't get to see the parade.
We didn't.
Connect. I know. We couldn't connect. So, like I said, either we gonna stop participating within a year from now. That's what me and my husband's planning. Kathy B and all of us, I don't know when it's her time. She already practicing, but we buying RVs. We bought a plot of land, and we about to make our first step to pull out the system, and that's to give them back their rental homes. And if you're buying a home, unless you're buying land, a plot of land that's not in the neighborhood, or a plot of land that belongs to you, you're still not owning it. Because most of these homes are 300 some thousand. When I say buy a plot of land, that's about 50, 80, 1,000. Some places are cheap. But you got to start somewhere. Where are you going to see yourself from now? You're going to keep. I had to look at when we made the decision. I'm looking around like, yeah, I'm like my space. I like my closets, but I'm going to have to give up stuff. I'm going to have to. It's not going to be decorated. The grandkids ain't going to have a lot of place. Until I get my land now, when I start building, I'll build it up. But I'm not finna pay one of these white companies to build me no damn house. The closest it's gonna come to is a manufactured home. But what we gonna start with is getting a couple of RVs. You paying thousands and thousands of dollars for a house. Our RV costs about $20,000 and it's yours. Nobody can't put you out of it. All you gotta do is park that bitch on your land. A RV and a land payment altogether is probably less than what you paying in rent. We gotta start thinking different. You cannot keep making yourself available for your oppressor. When you're staying in these inner cities, you're making yourself available for the light company, for the rent company, for the water bill company, for the gas company, for the furniture company, for the internet company, for the phone and the cell phone. Well, we need our cell phones, but you making yourself a sitting duck right there. When you pull out, you dropping bills. You're gonna have
That's
to
true
be
too.
uncomfortable to be comfortable.
Exactly. Can I interject one more thing? I was
Yeah.
looking at an incident on YouTube. There was a showing a man who built a house, I think on Hollywood Boulevard, somewhere in Los Angeles. He built a house. Of course, he was black. He's a vet. He has a generator. He had it plugged up to something. The only thing the white I mean, whatever she is, the person on the news was asking, well, how is he getting his electricity? Is he siphoning it off the company, off the whoever? If it was a white man who built a house, would she ask that question? It doesn't matter. He used his brain because he's black and built a house to keep himself off the streets.
Yes, and that's what we got with these buying land. We could build a house, and sometimes you got to know your city. You might got to look for land on the outer skirts. We got to start learning to live on the outskirts like we used to. They got us all up in front, and the main thing that you're subjected to is the police. Most of the time, you're running in encounters with police, your neighbors, and all that shootings, all this shooting because everybody knows where everybody is sitting at. Go to your land, private property. We gotta start. Every black person should have a one payment, and it's a land payment. I'm tired of seeing black people with a Chanel bag. Every time I see a black person, the first thing that's in the hood, your Louis Vuittons, your Chanels, your Gucci, and your Nikes. I need to start seeing deed papers. That's when you start hiding your wealth because you ain't gonna walk around with the paper button to your shirt. That's what real wealth does. Most of these white people ain't even wearing the shit y'all buying. You don't never see these in. You go in all these businesses and these stores, these gas stations. You know these white people that's so racist. All the Karens. Look at what they're wearing in them videos. They not all gold out, niked out like we be, and they be
Yeah,
right here. Why don't
that's true.
we need to start walking around with our eyes wide shut and open them motherfuckers. Open your mind. Stop saying spiritual. Everybody's spiritual, but ain't nobody told y'all spiritual asses to get up off your ass and tell everybody. God ain't told none of these spiritual people who taking all this money, doing all these readings and doing all this to take your family, buy a plot of land and move off. Stop participating. How long you gonna march on these people's streets? They took that plot of land. They made us build it. I'm sorry. We built these lands for free. They took a plot of land. They made it a highway. Then they opened up spots for people to come put businesses. Then they put us in the middle of the projects and low-income housing places around where we can go into them shops. That's how you create a city. So if we get plots of land around each other and we own it and we start setting up shop like we do and we go, then we start rebuilding our own cities for ourselves. Before we know it, we'll have black cities like Africa Town. We'll have
Exactly. They gotta retrain their brain.
yes. So it's time. It's 2024. I want to see black kids on the internet saying, I bought my first plot of land. I don't know what to do with it because you don't see it built up. You see a tree, you see grass. Most black people don't even cut grass. Most black men ain't even teaching their kids to cut grass no more. These little boys running around getting cars and sneakers and guns. Don't know nothing about getting no lawnmower. We don't know nothing. Our black kids don't know nothing about using tools. Half these black boys probably don't know how to use a hammer or a screwdriver. Those are the things we need to start doing. When a woman is in the kitchen teaching her daughter, when we used to sew and do hair and stuff, you ain't had time to get your fucking nails done every 2 weeks because showing your nails done is like the white people when they used to look at your hands and show you that you ain't never did no work. And we think that's cute these days. Because you don't know how to do, you can't even get your nails dirty to plant a tomato to give to your kids, but you think you go to work and you gonna buy your kids some McDonald's. We giving our kids bullshit, shit that's vain. You like your Bible so much, look at things that's vain. You can't even teach your daughter. If your daughter and them got lost in the woods, would they be able to find a plant? Do they know which plant to eat? Can you grow one thing? If the government could starve half the people that sit around begging for money because they don't know how to go to them same woods that they laying on making tents and dig 2 holes and and plant something. Collard greens, cabbages, lettuce, tomatoes. Those are easy crops. We don't know nothing but how to go to the fucking store, steal something, and go to jail. And all that could be avoided if somebody family taught them how to buy, how to grow, how to go to the store and buy a chicken that's alive. Get you your eggs every day. Get you some chicks. Get you a couple of chickens for the price we buy, because we don't want to see no blood, but we'll shoot people. We don't want to kill. I can't look at that. I can't. But you'll shoot people. You'll do stuff. You'll look at a scary movie with gore, but you won't kill your own food. You don't know how to get that money. Go get 2 chickens. There you got eggs every day. And now you're going to cut one of them chickens to avoid all that jail time. But we're programmed to go that way for survival and not the other way. That's not the road let's take it.
That's true.
So on this Martin Luther King Day, I hope we learned something. Martin Luther King turned us over to a burning house. Those was his last words. Fuck that dream. The only people benefiting from civil rights is not black people, everybody else. It's an insult. It's time to start pulling out the system. That's my solutions. I land my plane. Y'all have anything else to say before we wrap it on up? Because I don't think Pablo them coming back.
I am with you.
I don't either. Good word.
I am with you. Pull ourselves away from this system. That's where I'm at. It's too much. It is too much. Then they're going to throw these illegals on top of us to make it even worse. So that's one way to shut it all down. If I take myself out of the system, where are you getting the money for these illegals? Not for me.
Exactly. And then they want us to bring strangers in our home. That we don't even know if they don't kill children. And you know, they religions over there in that country. Those countries over there don't give a damn about women, let alone black women. And they over here getting they men, they instead of them over there fighting for their children in their country, they over here living off the backs of black people.
And calling us names.
But y'all have a beautiful, blessed day. We're gonna end this. We still see the parade, but we had a good talk all day about Martin Luther King and all this bullshit we're dealing with. Do something.
We did.
I want people on the live to shout out. I want y'all to get some land. Just look it up. Look for. I don't care if you buy just a plot or an acre. Buy a piece of land, because honey, if they put you out, if you can't pay your rent, if you don't know nothing, you got a piece of land you can stand on and can't nobody do shit about it. Get you some power back. And
also an RV. Those loans are actually cheaper than a car. So instead of buying a car, buy an RV, and you can drive that and live in it. So
yes, we black people need to be invested in trucks to pull your RV or RV that drive. Trucks, RVs, and land. That's the 3 things we need this year. That way we could the rest come. Those are our main things that's going to carry us through this drought, because they say in 2053 we ain't gonna have no wealth, meaning everywhere we walk is gonna be owned by somebody else. Everywhere you lay your head gonna be owned by somebody else. And just because you see 100 black people making it, don't make up for the whole fucking race.
That's true. And I would add that another thing they need to do this year is to check out our website, the United Empires of Al-Kibilon, to see if you want to join with us. If you feel that you don't have a way to do it on your own, we are here to help you. Join together with us so we can get this show on the road. We need people, we need money, we need other ideas.
Yep. So y'all have a beautiful, blessed day. That's what we planning. We almost got some of our land. We making our decision on how, some of the acres that me and Queen Kathy got. We're doing, because we got to buy more land. So we not telling you nothing we ain't did. It's been a struggle. But we ain't telling you something that we ain't doing. I'm trying to keep it simple. You got these people out here telling y'all to march, putting y'all in danger. You paying bail to get out of jail. To me, I don't like to waste money. That money could be on a plot of land. Because
right.
if they come up here and these immigrants start turning on y'all in these inner cities, where you gonna run to? Because they done took over the ghettos. So you ain't got them abandoned buildings to run to no more like you used to, because they taking those over. So
yep.
Start turning these young men coming from different countries. Just think about it. They're young men. They could be disguised as women or men while they letting this LBGT fly. These people known to do bombs. 9/11 obviously ain't scared America enough, because all these immigrants are coming in and we're paying for them. So there's something in the mix, because these are people who are able to fight y'all black people who are filled with cigarettes smoking your lungs, who can't run, who ain't never did no military training, who don't. These people don't walked across seas and deserts and stuff for days.
That's true.
They sitting up here souped up, and when it's time, you think they ain't gonna kill you first to keep their place in line? You think they trying to fight in the hood, that they ain't gonna get rid of y'all because they care about them first and their families first?
That's what they about to be.
So why they doing that? Y'all black folks, I want y'all, like I said, you better get some land, RVs, trucks, so that you could be living in your RV, park outside the building, make them rewrite laws where they give assistance to you living out in your mobile home. We got to start making laws before we wait for them to make a law and then we fighting it. There's thousands of laws on the book. The simplest way to stop all this is to start moving on your land. You cannot get a search warrant to come on your land. They can get a search warrant in these buildings, these apartments. When you stop making yourself present, you will not be part of this game. You are a token, like on a Monopoly game. Everybody got a piece. Every time you walk out your door, you roll the dice. Something. We are doing something. We're not telling you something that we're not doing. We might have plots where, like I said, we planning on what we doing with a couple of acres, and we gonna buy more land where we gonna do something, but we can't do it by ourselves. So either join us or start your own group and start buying land, because we not like these groups. We trying to give out good information so that we can see our people doing something. But stop trying to follow these YouTubers and follow people that got you just going places, and it's not an end to this hamster wheel. Get off the hamster wheel. On that side of the hamster wheel, there's a truck, there's an RV, and haul ass. Leave them bills behind. I don't want to hear y'all complaining about bills and y'all still staying on the inner city. It would be beautiful to wake up in peace in your own RV with your children, and you walk out your door and there ain't no drug addicts sleeping on the corner, ain't no police driving up and down, ain't no dope boy on the corner. That's your garden out there, and then you got something to rebuild for yourself. We got to get another vision. Without the vision, the people perish. And I'm gonna say it again. I said I was gonna end it, but I'm gonna wrap this up.
When it gets good, but yes.
And y'all have a beautiful, blessed day.
Enjoy the rest of this MLK Jr. Day.
Enjoy your life.
Unfortunately, we have come to the end of today's broadcast.
That too.
But the ATLA crew and founders of the United Empires of Akibalan would like to thank you for tuning in to the Good Morning from Africatown, Los Angeles morning radio show. We would like to invite you to stay connected with us by visiting our morning show website at www.gmfatla.com. Find out how you can get involved with the movement towards Black liberation by visiting the United Empires of Akibalan website at www.theunitedempiresofakibalan.com. Akibalan is spelled ALKEBULAN. We hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. Until next time, peace, love, and blessings to you all. Unfortunately, we have come to the end of today's broadcast, but the ATLA crew and founders of the